Because her best friend's father wanted her to quit school and work, the rich girl made her drink expired pesticide in a desperate attempt to save her. Lisa, on the other hand, rushed to call her father to save her. Silly Kate drank all the pesticide so that she could continue to go to school. The father rushes to the hospital with his daughter on his back, and Lisa takes the opportunity to cry on Kate's behalf. Kate, who pretended to be in a coma, woke up at that moment. The two of them rejoice in the success of their battle plan. In the end, Lisa got into college in Seoul. Kate, on the other hand, barely finished high school because of her family's poverty and stayed in the fishing village to start a seafood business, and accidentally became an invisible rich woman. The only thing Kate feels bad about is the fact that she has become a leftover woman because she only cares about money but never dresses herself. After a hard day's work, all Kate needs is a cold beer and fried chicken to catch up on her TV shows. But her best friend Lisa would meet her friends to party and sing. After work, she goes to the gym to work out and even attracts the attention of her puppies. After work, she would go shopping and buy her favorite clothes. Even do not forget to take a few narcissistic photos to send a friend circle. In Kate's life compared to the world of difference, Lisa is going to quit her job and fly to Paris to spend a vacation with her daughter who is studying abroad. She was so excited that she asked her second ex-husband to help her pack her bags. But then she got a call from her first ex-husband. The next day, her friends at the market asked Kate why she hadn't picked up Lisa yet. In the end, Kate left in frustration, but the men asked Kate to run faster. Kate left without saying a word but still came to the pier to pick up her best friend. Kate was like a servant girl, carrying all the bags and doing all the dirty work for Lisa. Lisa wanted to give her a big hug after not seeing her for so long, but Lisa didn't mind at all. To outsiders, they looked like a princess and a servant girl, only they knew how strong their friendship was. Kate wondered why Lisa, who was traveling the world with her daughter in Paris, suddenly came to Jeju Island. Every time Lisa tries to talk, Kate was always interrupted by a phone call. The man even changed into a suit to welcome his friend Lisa. Then Lisa went to visit the moms. Kate thought Lisa was being unreasonable. She said she was busy with work, but she came to Jeju to play. Kate felt that Lisa was being selfish. Lisa brought a lot of gifts and supplements for the moms. The women also gave Lisa some of their own souvenirs. The men worked together to repair the leaky roofs of the Amazons. Lisa chats with the Amas about their lives. It turns out that the reason Lisa didn't go abroad to be with her daughter was because her daughter asked her to. So she didn't want me to come to her graduation ceremony. Lisa came to Jeju Island for a break. Outside the house, the men are arguing over Lisa. Lisa came out to stop the fight. The men can't understand why he hates Lisa so much. Meanwhile, Kate called her friends to help prepare a meal for Lisa. Then Lisa called and said she wouldn't come back for dinner. Kate went ballistic. Her friends started to fight for Kate. They were best friends. When they were in school, the girl couldn't afford to take the bus because her family was poor, so her classmates looked down on her. Kate couldn't hold her head up because of the jeers behind her. At that moment, Lisa passed by in her big car. Lisa's timely appearance was like an angel to Kate. Not only that, Lisa brought Kate a sandwich. She couldn't wait to show off to her classmates who had just laughed at her. Because Lisa was there, Kate didn't lose face. But this time when Lisa came to Jeju, Kate couldn't be happy. Whenever Lisa appeared, she became the center of attention. Everyone loved her. When Lisa was late at night, Kate made her bed and decided to pick her up. Along the way, Kate remembered all the time she'd spent with Lisa, how she stood up for her, how she drank pesticide when her father pulled her out of school, and how she managed to get away with it so she could go back to school. If it wasn't for Lisa, she wouldn't have been able to go to high school and would only have graduated from middle school. After that, whenever Kate got sleepy in school, Lisa would pour a glass of water on her to wake her up. When she thought about it, Kate felt betrayed by her dissatisfaction with Lisa. At that moment, Lisa and the girls drove up in their car and wanted to take Kate out with them. Lisa's unintentional remark hurt Kate's heart. Then they drove to the beach and danced on the sand. Kate watched from afar. She thought she would love Lisa forever because she had been favored by her, so she valued loyalty. That's why she helped Lisa in her 3 marriages. She even closed her store 365 days a year to go to Seoul to take care of her during her menstrual cycle. Kate took it all for granted. She didn't feel tired at all. Lisa asked Kate to turn up the music in the car, but the men couldn't stand it. Lisa got up and threw the lunchbox she brought Kate into the trash can in front of the whole class. Kate looked at Lisa with shock. Kate tried to hold back the tears in her eyes and tried to run away from this humiliating place. That's why men hate Lisa so much. How could she say such a thing to her best friend? Kate chose to remain silent, but the man left in anger. But what happened a year ago after Lisa divorced her third husband was too much for Kate to bear. The poor girl just complains that there's no sausage in today's lunch. The rich girl's best friend took it back and threw it in the trash in front of the whole class. Lisa's action stung Kate's pride. Even though her best friend Lisa had treated her so badly, Kate never hated her best friend, because there was one thing that hurt her more. It was a year ago when Lisa divorced her third husband. No matter how Kate tried to call her, Lisa never answered her phone. Fearing that her best friend would not be able to survive, Kate came to Seoul from Jeju Island and rushed to Lisa's house like a madwoman. Even in the elevator, she kept calling Lisa. Kate had to leave her a message because there was no answer. When the elevator arrived, Kate rushed to Lisa's door and entered the code. But when he entered the door, he found that it was dark. She called Lisa's name and got no answer. Just when she thought something had happened to her best friend, the lights were suddenly turned on. Not only was Lisa safe, but she was even having a party with her friends to celebrate her divorce. It turns out Lisa had just made a bet with them to see which of her friends would come to Seoul from out of town just because of a phone call. That's when Lisa introduced Kate to her friends. Looking at her best friend, Kate suddenly felt like a stranger. She used their decades-long friendship as a bargaining chip. Looking at the heartless Lisa in front of her, Kate's mind kept coming back to those words. Is this how she already exists in Lisa's heart? But now she can still act as if nothing has happened. Kate realized in her heart that she was just a servant girl in Lisa's eyes. Kate took the drunken Lisa home and put her to bed, but she broke down and cried. Looking at such a fragile best friend, Kate sang her a lullaby. The women who saw this thought it was unbelievable. Kate took care of the drunken Lisa like she was her own child. Finally, she took a hot towel and carefully cleaned her hands. When Lisa had fallen asleep, Kate took her diary and walked out of the room to write down all the feelings she had today. At that moment, Lisa yelled for water. Kate immediately poured water for her. Even though Lisa treated her like that, she owed her a favor. So Kate vowed not to become a selfish and dual personality person like her. In the end, Kate slept on the floor in the living room with a blanket. The next morning when Lisa woke up, Kate went to the market early to sell fish. It turns out Lisa didn't go to Paris because her daughter wanted to travel with her stepmother and her boyfriend. Lisa still left her a message wanting to go to Iceland with her to see the aurora borealis. Lisa is actually a bitter person. Divorced 3 times. She has nothing but money and her only best friend is Kate. Then Lisa changed into Kate's clothes. Looking at the curtains on the wall, which she had given to her 10 years ago, Lisa started to clean the house. She saw the breakfast Kate prepared for her. She saw the note Kate had left for her, thanking her best friend for the warmth of her friendship. Looking at Kate's messy bathroom, Lisa's head got big and she started to do the laundry, cleaned the bathroom, mopped the living room floor, cleaned up the dishes in the sink, and finally took out the new curtains that she had given Kate as a gift. While cleaning Kate's room, Lisa saw Kate's diary, which she had kept since middle school. So Lisa took it upon herself to read Kate's diary. After reading the diary, Lisa felt more and more that Kate was her best friend. But then she accidentally found a diary that made her feel completely. A thrice-divorced woman came across her best friend's diary. She realized their friendship had been shattered for a long time. Kate told her whole heart in the diary. Even if Lisa doesn't see herself as a friend but a villain who comes and goes as she pleases. Even if she was a selfish woman with a double personality, she would still be loyal to Lisa. Just then Kate came back. Lisa hurriedly hid the diary and wiped away the tears on her face so that Kate wouldn't notice her low mood. Kate smelled something burning. Lisa realized that the water she had boiled over. She scrambled to dump the water. Kate turned around and was shocked by what she saw. Lisa had not only cleaned her room, but also washed her dirty clothes and cleaned the bathroom. Looking at Kate's happy face, Lisa's heart was bitter. Lisa told Kate to take a shower and went to prepare lunch. Kate walked into the bathroom with a funny dance. The next moment, the smile on Lisa's face disappeared. Inside the bathroom, Kate was not feeling well either. She looked at herself in the mirror. Inside Kate's heart, she hates this kind of hypocrisy. But in order not to hurt her best friend Lisa, she had to convince herself to do so. After dinner, Lisa took out her cosmetics and taught Kate how to take care of her skin. She patiently taught Kate how to use it. Both of them have problems in their hearts, but they don't dare to speak their minds. Looking at their best friend in front of her, the words that hurt Lisa came to her mind. Lisa took the initiative to ask Kate if she had any complaints about herself. Kate answered no. Lisa explained that she only felt sorry for Kate because she was working every day and wanted her to have a fun day, and apologized to Kate for her blabbering, and also apologized for hurting her inadvertently because she liked her too much. Kate's attitude also made Lisa completely cold. She took off the necklace that her daughter had given her, which showed her and Kate in profile. She was going to lend it to Kate for a day, because they were going to a class reunion today. In the evening, Kate danced her mechanical dance to the applause of her classmates. Everyone quickly got into the spirit of the party, but the man's wife was a thorn in Lisa's side, because her husband looked so glowing when he saw Lisa, so she secretly stepped on her husband's feet with her high heels. To save face, the man could only endure in silence, and then his wife secretly pinched him in the waist. The man's pain mask came out, but he didn't dare to say anything. He can only excuse himself to go to the restroom and escape from hell. Lisa told her to put her heart in her stomach. Even if she gave her husband to herself, she wouldn't want him. Everyone is clamoring for Lisa and Kate to sing a song together. The best of the best are still there, and the best memories are still in their minds. But soon the boys put all the focus on Lisa and Kate was sidelined. Finally, Kate put down the microphone and left the stage, and the men all watched. The woman slapped her best friend's face hard but turned around and left without any explanation. Just now Lisa left the karaoke bar and went to a convenience store to buy alphabet posters for the ladies. Because they're old and have memory loss, they often forget things. Whenever Lisa goes back to Jeju, she always buys new alphabet posters for them so they can exercise their brains regularly. On her way home, Lisa bumped into a man who was drinking on the side of the road. Lisa grabbed the man's drink and drank it herself. Kate's diary is also disturbing her at the moment. Lisa realized that the man seemed to have something on his mind. He finally found the courage to tell Lisa what was on his mind. It turned out that the man was planning to divorce his wife. Lisa thought he was joking. Not only is she filial, but she's also raised her children to be the best in school and university. In Lisa's opinion, She was the perfect wife. The man downed the whole bottle of wine in one gulp. Then he lifted up his shirt. Lisa noticed the bruise on his waist. The man wiped up his back again. Lisa was shocked by the scars. The man sat down and took off his shoes. It turned out that the woman had a pathological jealousy disorder and was often violent towards her husband. For years the man had suffered in silence. He cried to Lisa about his heartache over the years. And Lisa, who felt sorry for her friend, comforted him unexpectedly. This scene was witnessed by his wife. Jealousy overwhelmed the woman. Rushed up and grabbed Lisa's hair. No matter what, she started to fight. The man tried his best to stop his crazy wife, but she hit him with a headbutt and knocked him over. Lisa, who couldn't stand it any longer, finally fought back. She took the woman by the hair and taught her how to behave. While the two were fighting, Kate came to the scene and tried to break them up. But in the middle of the fight, Lisa slapped Kate in the face. Kate suddenly lost her memory. Lisa looked at her best friend in a daze. The defiant woman attacked again, but was knocked down by Lisa's foot and fell to the ground. Kate covered her face and looked at Lisa with unfamiliar eyes. But Lisa didn't apologize at all. She picked up the poster and left. Lisa cried as she walked home. At this moment, a man in a car was ready to give her a ride. When she got into the car, Lisa questioned the man. The man told Lisa the reason as a friend. The reason was that Lisa had thrown her lunchbox into the trash in front of the whole class in high school. In the meantime, Kate gets the drunk woman home safely. She took the opportunity to complain to Kate, but Kate doesn't believe Lisa would do such a thing. But the woman thinks that Lisa, a 3-time divorcee, is the best at flirting. When the woman sees her husband on her doorstep, she goes after him to teach him a lesson. Back home, Lisa drank alone. The atmosphere between the two of them has become very awkward. It turned out that the woman had just called Lisa. Kate turned off the recording and asked Lisa if she believed she would say such a thing. But Kate didn't believe the woman was abusing her husband. Lisa said she saw the man with his own eyes, covered in bruises. But Kate thinks she's full of shit and doesn't want to get into it with Lisa. Lisa took the diary from her desk and threw it in front of Kate. An angry Kate throws the diary in the trash. Lisa says she's hurt. If someone who didn't know her well had called her names, she wouldn't have minded. But that person was her best friend who knew her best. Kate told Lisa to leave. It's in the past. Don't mention it again. Lisa said that if she has a dual personality, then Kate has multiple personalities. For decades she hated herself but pretended to like her just for the sake of her so-called righteousness. After venting, Lisa took her luggage and left Kate's house. Kate didn't hold her back. She just drank one glass of wine after another. But her tears couldn't stop flowing down her face. But Lisa in the cab was also in tears because of a diary. Best friends for decades went their separate ways. Lisa left Jeju overnight with tears of sadness. Kate, on the other hand, quickly returned to her busy life of selling fish. When she picked up a towel to wipe her sweat, something fell from her neck. It turned out to be the necklace Lisa had lent her. Maybe it's because she was thinking of someone else. Kate lost interest in selling fish and went to the beach alone to enjoy the sea breeze. But her tears kept rolling in her eyes. Kate went to Auntie's house to change the letter posters for them. Lisa's departure left the two old men sad. Auntie told Kate to be nice to Lisa. She's a poor child. But Kate felt no pity for her, as the men changed, and she didn't even have to raise her daughter. Auntie said it must have hurt Lisa to not even be able to raise her own daughter. That's when she told the truth about why Lisa came to Jeju. Because Lisa had been married several times. Her daughter was too embarrassed to tell her fiancé, so she preferred her stepmother, who was a professor. When she realized the truth, Kate blamed herself. It turns out that the reason Lisa didn't tell Kate the truth was because she was afraid that she would be too busy to worry about herself. That's why she kept it a secret. Kate happened to run into a friend. The man even said that Lisa had saved his life. Hearing this, Kate felt even more guilty. Back home, Kate retrieved the diary from the trash can and wrote down her feelings again. Looking at the flowers Lisa had arranged for him and the new curtains she had prepared, Kate suddenly realized that Lisa existed in every aspect of her life. It was as if she had lost the most important person in her life. When she thought of this, Kate's heart was filled with anger. Kate left the business of the fish stall and drove to Seoul immediately, intending to talk to Lisa clearly. Lisa went back to work at her old store but didn't want to buy it back and become the owner. She was looking forward to going to Iceland with her daughter to see the aurora borealis. Then the store manager asked Lisa to receive a mysterious guest. Lisa was curious when she came to the private room and lifted the towel. Looking at the familiar back and hands full of fire pots and the thick calluses on her feet, Lisa immediately recognized her best friend Kate. A year ago, when I couldn't reach Lisa, Kate was so worried that she came all the way from Jeju to Seoul. Kate tried to control her emotions. As Lisa massaged her, she revealed what was in her heart. It turned out that her parents and brothers hated Lisa because of the divorce, and even her only daughter was indifferent to her. Kate was the only person she felt she could bully and get along with. She doesn't remember much about her high school days when she threw away her lunchbox and told Kate to eat and drink her own food. Kate asks Lisa how she could be such an ungrateful woman. Lisa angrily scolded Kate that if she was really righteous, she should have told herself that she was sad and hurt, and come to her like this. Instead of burying all her grievances in her heart, Kate was speechless. Lisa burst into tears and Kate was no better. After resolving the misunderstanding, they loved each other as much as ever. Kate thought that Lisa, who had graduated from university, was a comfortable boss every day, but she didn't realize that she also had to work hard to massage the customers, and her heart ached. Lisa took Kate to a popular restaurant and customized a necklace just like her own as a testament to their friendship. In the midst of the usual bickering, they took beautiful photos of their girlfriend. The poor girl, holding a piglet in her arms, got on the bus to school. The little piglet kept howling and emitting a strong smell of pig poop. The ladies on the bus were complaining about the piglet. The students started laughing at Kate. Then one of the boys started to make fun of them. It turned out that Jim and Kate's families were so poor that they couldn't afford to go on a school trip. Jim gave each other a cold look. Everyone burst into laughter and felt that Jim and Kate were made for each other, as one had to sell piglets and the other had to sell sesame seeds to pay for their tuition. The boys started to make noise, wanting to see the schoolgirl and Kate fight. They purposely aimed at Kate. Jim picked up a boy by the collar and told him to sit down. The boy who had lost face suddenly lost his nerve. Then Jim gave the schoolgirl a look that made her admit defeat. Because the schoolgirl had a crush on Jim, she had to give up. But Jim did not know that his heroic rescue made Kate's heart flutter. At this moment, she could not stop herself from falling in love with Jim. On the day of the study trip, Kate couldn't wait to find Jim, who was alone, and took the initiative. Kate was overjoyed, which meant she had a chance to take advantage of the situation. She asked Jim how he felt about kissing. Looking at the silent Jim, Kate finally found the courage to say what she wanted to say. Kate took the initiative to sit beside Jim and even handed him her soy milk. Jim shook his head to say no. Jim could not help but laugh out loud. Kate, however, felt that her self-esteem had been greatly humiliated. She reached out to take the cigarette from Jim's chest, but he stopped her. As she watched Jim get up and leave, Kate couldn't help herself. Jim didn't reject Kate outright, but that gave her a chance. Kate threw down the soybean milk number C to hold up Jim's face on tiptoe. Directly forced to kiss, Jim also took the initiative to send his first kiss. Knowing this secret, her best friend Lisa decided to go and ask Jim for proof in person. Kate stupidly chased after him. Lisa broke into the gym and found Jim playing ball in the crowd. Lisa grabbed the ball out of Jim's hand. This immediately became a heavy bomb, and the students were stunned. Kate also arrived at the stadium at that time. Kate was sweating profusely, but she was too late. Jim took back the basketball. He dribbled the ball with one hand and walked up to Kate. Kate was afraid that Jim would tell her that she had kissed him. Then she would be really embarrassed. Kate was stunned. She never thought that Jim would not follow the rules. Her classmates were shocked to learn the truth. Jim threw in a three-pointer and turned around and left in style. Kate rolled her eyes and fainted. The students were so scared that they called for an ambulance, but they didn't know that Kate was actually so happy that she was about to pass. The girl took the initiative to kiss the boy got crushed for a long time, but turned around and said to her girlfriends that it was the school bully who took the initiative to kiss her. Lisa can't wait to ask Jim for the truth, but Jim not only admitted it generously, but also said that Kate was enjoying it too. Being hit by the sweetness, Kate immediately fainted with happiness. 20 years later, Lisa was on her way to make a delivery when she accidentally ran into her first high school love, Jim. Kate was so happy, but because her car was blocking the road, people around her were urging her to move it. Jim asked Kate to move her car first. He will call her later, but Kate was worried that Jim didn't know her cell phone number. Witty Jim took out his cell phone and photographed the contact information on Kate's car. When Kate parked the car and returned again, Jim was long gone. Once a poor girl who couldn't afford school fees has become a wealthy woman by selling fish. The former schoolboy Jim entered Seoul National University, graduated from there and became a manager at a bank. But he had to go out on the streets to distribute flyers and even humbly picked up flyers thrown away by passers-by and continued to advertise financial products with a smile on his face. And finally, he had to go door to door to hand out flyers in order to finish his busy day's work. Luckily, Jim was about to be transferred to Jeju Island. At that moment, the phone rang and he was in a hurry to answer the phone. He kicked the sofa on the leg and the pain mask came out, but Jim could not care less. It turns out that he recommended a financial product to his friend but was politely rejected. Not only that, his friend also recommended stocks to Jim in the opposite direction. Looking at his bleeding big toe, Jim bare the pain to pull out the broken nail. At that time, a customer who had lost money came to the lobby and was constantly looking for trouble with the salesman. As a manager, Jim dragged his limping feet to deal with it. Jim tried to calm down the customer's agitated mood. The clerk's 2 words annoyed the client again. He grabbed him by the collar and the scene was in chaos. Jim wanted to take the client to the office to talk. Unexpectedly, his injured toe was stepped on again, which was like blood on blood. Under Jim's unremitting efforts to solve the customer's emotions, finally calmed down and successfully introduced another high-return financial products. In this way, The customer successfully jumped from one pit into another pit because his daughter is studying golf abroad. The high tuition fees have made Jim empty his family's pockets and mortgaged his property to the bank. Now he is alone in China and puts all his hopes on his daughter. Then his wife called and needed money for the next tournament, but all of Jim's money doesn't add up. His wife wanted to give up because her daughter's performance is not satisfactory, but Jim was adamant. They said they were just beggars. Now they can no longer afford to pay for their daughter's studies. Jim said he would find a way to pay for it himself. On the day of Jim's transfer to Jeju, he was surprised to learn that Kate's savings amounted to $3 billion. He was shocked to learn that Kate had $3 billion in savings and went to the market to visit the merchants. His best friend told him that Kate had several other stores in the market. Jim was shocked, but she was even more shocked. The look on Jim's face turned into one of worship. Her friend encouraged Jim to recommend other financial products to Kate at the reunion. That day, Jim brought a gift to visit his sister. Because he had been neglecting his mother and siblings for years to pay for his daughter's study abroad, the sister was very puzzled by her brother's behavior of sending his children to play golf abroad and even selling his house even though he had no money. The brother-in-law threw away the gifts he gave him. Back home, Jim had the courage to ask his sister for a loan of $100 million, but finally gave up. At that moment, Jim received a message from Kate. Looking at the message sent by Kate, Jim's mind immediately appeared a bold idea. Seeing her crush after 20 years, and that made the old girl Kate's heart flutter again, but she didn't know that the spirited teenager back then has now become a debt-ridden scoundrel. Jim sent his daughter abroad to learn golf. For this reason, not only emptied the family's capital, mortgaged the house and even took a huge amount of debt. When he accidentally learned that the once poor Kate is now a rich woman, his heart is not only envious but also heartbreaking. He stood in front of the window and looked at the building that belonged to Kate. Some people suffer because they don't have money, while others suffer because they have too much money. Her younger brother called Kate every day, asking her to buy him a house. Kate decided to buy her brother a 60 square feet apartment, but her brother asked for a 150 square feet apartment with a sea view. Kate gave her brother a hard time. At the same time, Jim is still hesitant to ask his sister for money. He finally bit the bullet and sent the message. After work, Jim rushed to the singing room. It turns out that today is a high school reunion. All the students were looking forward to seeing Jim, who was a busy man. Among them, Kate was the most enthusiastic. The most enthusiastic of them all was Kate, who had arranged a couple's duet with her first love. We happily drove a locomotive to reminisce about the good old days when we were students. At the end of the party, we all coaxed Jim, who was the most talented, to pay the bill, but Kate couldn't stand it. After all, Jim was just an office worker who couldn't afford to be hammered like that. In the restroom, Jim threw up. Kate was heartbroken, so she went to the convenience store to buy him some sobriety pills. They sat on the curb and started reminiscing. Jim said it was so cute that Kate was so shocked that she passed out on the spot. Jim stared blankly at Kate's back as she left. At that moment, his sister sent him a message accusing him of being too thick-skinned. He graduated from high school and put himself through college, but his brother never did anything for him. He didn't even take care of his mom for a day, and now he's asking for $200 million. Jim was ashamed of himself. Alone, Jim didn't want to go back to his cold home, so he went to the wholesale market with Kate. Seeing all the different kinds of people going about their business, Jim suddenly felt pathetic. One of the vendors gossiped about Kate. Being able to walk together with Jim made Kate's heart feel like honey. They recalled the time when they were studying. Whenever they were in a bad mood, they would come to the beach. No matter what, they would jump into the sea in their school uniforms without any fear. At that time, Jim was naive and cheerful, but now he is living in the way he hates the most. Life is boring and dark. Jim stepped by step towards the sea as if he saw himself when he was full of vigor. He ran to the sea without any hesitation and expressed his feelings freely. He didn't know when the free-spirited young man had disappeared and was replaced by the man who ran for his life. Jim went to the sea step by step. He took off his jacket and rushed to the sea. Floating on the surface of the sea, Jim seemed to see his young self again. When he got home, Jim unexpectedly caught a cold. After a hot bath, he received a message from his daughter that she had decided to give up golf. Jim called his daughter and asked her why she gave up golf after 13 years of hard work. She said golf was everything to her and now she wants to give it up. Kate came to see Jim. His wife grabbed the phone and said that she and his daughter had decided to quit. They don't want to stay in the country for the rest of their lives. Jim hung up the phone and put all his hopes on Kate.